Hello and welcome to Let's Build Apocalypse. Well, I guess it's not really so much as Let's Build, but it's Apocalypse Build at least. Uh, Today I'm out in the distant north to actually start work on one of the primary, I guess, mechanics of the city, which is power generation. I'm just mapping this out a little bit. 1, 2, 3. Let's see. 1, 2, and let's go over here. I'm gonna move that all the way out here. About here should be fine. And this, have this running. Oh, I don't know if I actually chunk loaded that, but I think it should chunk load itself. If not, I can go adjust that quickly. Is it? Yes, it is still receiving power, so I think it has the chunk loading. But yeah, none of the episodes have gone up public yet. So I'm hoping to change that shortly. I have to just render a few videos and then I can post them up. Yep, it may not be as fast as the Tesseracts, but it works well enough. And bring this out. And I went and got the skins for my NPCs, so I can actually start working on them as well. That should be fine. Now I need to lay this out to see how I want this. Three, 4, 5. And right here. That should be a big enough building. There we go. But yeah, as with most of my builds, I tend to use solar power for the most part. at least to start off. I have yet to start with a nuclear power plant, which is something I really want to do, but it takes a bit of time to actually make it functional. And I just messed up there, but actually I want to keep that stuff. And it's not too hard to fix. There we go. And that's the base of the power plant. I think after I have... Actually, I'm going to start with building the power plant, because that tends to be the quickest way and allows me to start with the structure of the wiring, or the power grid for this instance. Let's see. Load this, and I want to have something else here. Let's take a look at the stone. What do I have to work with? You know, I actually have an idea for a couple of these special colored ones. I actually have an idea with this. I have something I want to use this for. It's starting a greenish color. Doesn't look like it. Oh well. I guess I'll just stick with the white stone for this bottom layer and then see what comes next. Now with the new IC2 power generation, things are going to be quite different. I'll have to actually worry about overloading stuff as well as overloading the wire itself. Though I could use the glass fiber, that's not going to work for what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to start using this insulated high voltage cable, which only can allow 2000 EU. And actually, another thing is, I forgot that I only have one type of solar, so that's interesting. Insulated. I'm gonna have to actually probably work with glass fiber for the most part to start with, and how do I want this? I want some iron bars, and I can start with putting that here. Getting the basic area outlined is kind of an important thing here. Is that enough? Yeah, that should be definitely enough. I'm going to try to get smart moving on this server, but not making any promises. Because I really like the smart moving, especially for like these type of survival maps. Actually, I'm gonna have it like that. And bring it all the way over here. Oh yeah, and 1.7.2 came out today. So that'll be fun. I'll have to learn something new. Or at least learn more about it. I haven't really been keeping up with it. Actually, I think I'm just gonna go with iron. Actually, scrap that. Steel. Block of steel. Just because, I mean, it somewhat looks like it. And one, two, three, four. Actually, do I have to do this? One, two, three, four. Yeah, I have to do that. Oh. And it's one too short for what I wanted. So each one of these is going to be producing 10 EU per tick. And there's going to be 4 of them, so that's going to be 40 EU per tick. Now that personally isn't enough to run too many things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The actual amount of EU, actually I could probably fit another one. Regardless, 60 EU a tick is not enough either. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the basic structure seems to be good. Now if I remember correctly, they do just produce 1 EU per tick. I was actually thinking about doing a watermill plant, but then I'd have to literally make an ocean, or at least a large river. Why's that there? Okay. The only reason I'm using this fiber cable is just because it can transmit quite a bit of energy without too much loss. Or maybe it just doesn't matter how much EU it goes through it. I really haven't been keeping up too much with the power thing, but I do know that you can no longer send just large amounts of energy through very small amounts of cabling. And now that fiberglass cabling is pretty much the standard, it'll be quite interesting to see what people can build with IC2 nowadays. I also want to take a look at those UU matter updates. And come on, why won't you click? There we go. It's 1. Gonna bring that all the way down here. And let's see. Actually, what I could do, and something I wasn't thinking of for some reason, is I can just do that. Holding shift really does help with this. Keep forgetting that feature. And there we go. That's producing 30 EU per tick. Though I don't know how long it would last if I had to actually implement an actual full city on this power grid. I would definitely have to expand the power options, which is good because I actually do want to have more than one type of power supply. And also, territorial wars would be more interesting if you have to get more than one power supply to keep the city active. And I'll probably start making some NPCs for this, I guess, area or territory. And basically, this area, it'll just be swarming with the undead or zombies, wherever you really care for. And they really don't care to eat your brains, they just want to kill you. Actually, I guess there's a way that they are technically consuming you, as I'm going to have all the zombies have a hunger effect, meaning it's more important to actually keep your food up, because I'm going to have this server on hard, so you do starve to death if you don't eat. And that's not too fun if you starve to death constantly. And let's see, how much energy is flowing through here? Since they're all currently active, I can actually test this with an MFE or MFSU, which is probably a better alternative here. Let's see. Still not that much power. I could probably double the output by just combining this all into one single, I guess, panel. You know what, I'm gonna bring this out two more. That way I can, two more sets of these. That way I can work with it. Because I'm trying to balance the amount of power that's needed by the city, or the section of the city, to how much can be produced. And while the nuclear power plant's going to be very effective, it won't be enough if you just have that to power the entire city. Though, in all reality, I mean, I guess it would probably be able to power the entire city. And there we go. A couple more panels, and then this will be a functional power plant. And in all reality, solar power plants really don't give that much energy. In fact, they're kind of a waste of space. Though it's free energy, it doesn't produce enough to actually maintain an entire city without a large amount of space. So it has its ups and downs. guess really you have to look at do the benefits outweigh the risks or the costs in this matter. And if they don't, then it's not really worth the time. Guess it just didn't feel like connecting. And there we go. Let's see. So this is going to be producing 120 EU per tick. That's about medium voltage, which is pretty much enough to actually power quite a bit part of the city at least. Or at least a portion of the city. But I'm going to have at least high voltage before I can actually power an entire city. Come on. There you go. And I know it's better to build with 2 or 3 high, but I'm not really bothering with that right now. And that's pretty much the max amount of solar panels I'm willing to actually create just for this power station. So, there we go. I'm actually debating who should own this for the most part, or at least how it should be owned. As the building itself will probably be empty, but I guess this is kind of part of me winging it. I don't really care what happens right now. Okay, that's all 5. Yep. And there we go. Personally, I'm trying to avoid having craftable items for the most part inside this server, just because the server is not based for crafting, it's more like gathering and survival. So food's going to be hard to come by, and it's pretty much going to be essential to live, as it is in real life. And one of the first things you want to have, or one of the first things you want to be able to have available, is food, water, and medicine, especially in an apocalyptic setting like this. There we go. And that should be producing quite a bit more. Yep. trying to limit the amount of cords behind this. And, oops. Didn't mean to break that. There we go. Now if I have, say, a switch or something on each one of these, it would actually limit the amount of energy that's able to be input into this. 1,000 every second or so, every half second. Seems about right. There we go. The power system itself is up, so let's start working on the building itself. Switching this out, or do I want to switch that out? I'm thinking about the construction foam, but I've been using that too much. That I really would like to expand into different types of stones. I'll be probably using a texture pack at one point, but just not right now because I just don't feel like it. Yeah, the bleached stone actually looks not too bad. Okay, well, I need that, and I don't know where to get it. Oh, it's a block. Bleached bone. There we go. And quarried block. How does this look? It doesn't look too bad, looking at it like this. Almost gives a tiled impression for that. Actually, isn't there a tiled aspect here, or the way it's built? Actually, I want that, definitely. And let's go with this one as well. Because I can do this. I think that actually would look decent. Again, the stone was kind of, or this concrete was actually just kind of temporary. Let's go here. Just keep doing this. It's got at least a unique, interesting look. I'm not too sure how seems nice for the most part, but in fact, actually, I want to check something else. I know I'm a little bit over the time. I don't really care right now. Yep. How would this look? I don't really like it because it's broken up on this line and then it's not broken up on this line. Can I switch that? Nope. I guess I'm just gonna stick with this. I mean, the thought of having the... Man, I'm just full of accidents right now. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna stick with the block form. And yeah, right here. That should be fine. Well, if you like what you're watching, want to see more, subscribe. If you don't like what you're watching, oh well. See you next time, and have a good day.